Dicky is a very poor boy who studies at one of the best schools in his city. His father, T, works as a construction worker and uses all his money to pay for Dicky's private school education. Miss Ewan, his teacher, cares deeply about him and is concerned to see the boy always arriving to class in dirty clothes. She tries to speak with Dicky's father, but the boy explains that his dad is always too busy working. Dicky's mother died when he was very young, so he spends most of his time alone. During class, when the students are asked what they want to be when they grow up, Dicky says he wants to be poor. He explains that his father told him if he grows up to be honest and hardworking, even as a poor man, he will still be respected. As Dicky speaks, his teacher, Mr. Chow, accidentally drops his pen. Dicky picks it up and hands it to him. However, Mr. Chow reacts unexpectedly. He orders the boy to put the pen back on the floor and then uses a rag to pick it up, disgusted that Dicky had touched it. During lunch, a rich classmate named Johnny shows off his newest toy, a robot dog named CJ1. At that moment, Dicky notices Maggie, a girl from his class who is significantly larger than the other kids. As the boys mock her, Dicky steps in and tells them to leave her alone. They ignore him and walk away. In gym class, Dicky is not allowed to participate because the teacher says his sneakers are not suitable. A few minutes into class, Maggie joins him and says she pretended to forget her shoes so she could sit with him. She asks if all his shoes are that old, and he admits they are, since his father found them in the trash. Even though Dicky admires his father and isn't ashamed of him, he wishes for new sneakers so he can participate in sports, which he loves. At the construction site, T is struggling with exhaustion. His boss decides to fire him, but T pleads to stay, explaining that he needs to buy a fan for his son, who can't sleep at night due to the heat. When the boss asks why T insists on sending his son to a private school, T says he wants his son to have more opportunities and not end up like him. Moved, the boss allows him to stay. That night, T comes home with a fan tied to his bike. They live in a partially demolished, abandoned building. Dicky is surprised and delighted to see the fan, until it doesn't work. He suspects his father found it in the trash, but T insists he paid a high price for it. Ultimately, Dicky has to use a handheld fan to cool down. During dinner, T cuts away the rotten parts of an apple to give to his son. Dicky takes the chance to ask for new sneakers, and T promises to get him a new pair. Before bed, they bond by playing one of their favorite games, hunting cockroaches around the house. The next morning, they watch TV through an electronics store window. The news reports a UFO sighting, but the photo looks identical to the head of the man who reported it. Clearly a hoax. While T watches the news, Dicky sneaks into a toy store and finds a toy similar to Johnny's CJ1. He begs his father to buy it, promising never to ask for anything again. But T has no money and asks him to put it back. Dicky refuses, and after a short argument, T slaps him. The boy returns the toy, then runs out of the store crying. T follows him and finds him with Miss Ewan, who says she wants to visit their home to discuss Dicky's situation. T avoids the visit, saying he's too busy with work. That night, T goes to a junkyard and finds a well-preserved pair of sneakers for Dicky. He also discovers a TV and tries to see if it works. Suddenly, a flying saucer bursts from the wreckage and flies away, leaving behind a strange green toy. T takes it home and tells Dicky it's something even better than CJ1. The boy finds only a squishy green ball and is disappointed, but takes it to school anyway. Johnny mocks the toy and says Dicky's dad probably found it in the trash. When Johnny threatens to insult his dad again, Dicky stands up for him. Johnny blows a whistle, and a huge boy named Dragon appears. He grabs Dicky and tosses him aside. That night, Dicky is scolded for fighting and ruining his uniform. He complains about being laughed at for his stupid toy. As he explains what happened, the toy suddenly activates. It begins to move, grows spikes, and opens a black hole. Frightened, Dicky throws it away and starts seeing ghosts around the house. T ignores him and begins fixing his uniform. Later, the closet next to Dicky's bed opens. Inside, he sees something moving and screams. Fed up, T puts him in the closet as punishment. Terrified, Dicky prays for protection. That's when the green ball begins to glow, creating an optical illusion and transporting Dicky to a strange dimension. There, he sees a cabbage-headed creature repairing a broken item with its antenna. When the creature's energy stone breaks, it turns into a stuffed doll. However, it can come back to life if the energy stone is replaced. After the vision ends, Dicky discovers the green ball has transformed into a small alien. T opens the closet, and Dicky hides the creature. While T is at work, Dicky investigates the alien and decides it must be a space dog. He names it CJ7. They spend the night playing and dancing. CJ7 even uses its powers to restore a rotten apple, convincing Dicky that he's truly magical. The next day, Dicky goes to school with CJ7 on his shoulder. He proposes a test. If CJ7 can defeat the meanest dog in the neighborhood, he'll prove he's a super alien dog. CJ7 charges the dog and wins. Dicky is proud and marches to school. Later, in the school bathroom, Dicky asks CJ7 to help him get a perfect score on an upcoming test. CJ7 gets to work and builds a pair of high-tech glasses. Small robots emerge from the glasses, scanning classmates' exams. Johnny notices the bots and tries to catch them, accidentally attacking the teacher. Another classmate, Fanny, uses the chaos as an excuse to do the same. The results are revealed, and for the first time, Dicky gets an A. While celebrating, the teacher asks to see his glasses. Dicky throws them to him, only for them to explode in his hands. After meeting CJ7 again, Dicky tells him the next class is gym, and he'll need a pair of super sneakers. A few seconds later, the shoes were ready. The teacher shows the students his personal jumping record and claims that no one has ever been able to break it. However, Dicky easily jumps over the obstacle. Suspicious, the teacher lowers the bar and asks the boy to jump again, finding it strange for a child to have such ability. Dicky accepts the challenge, and this time, his sneakers allow him to jump even higher. When he moves on to the treadmill, the shoes release mechanical legs that attach to his own, enabling him to run so fast that even the treadmill can't keep up. It breaks apart. In swimming class, Dicky excels once again. As he jumps into the pool, propellers emerge from his shoes, letting him glide quickly underwater. During soccer, his kick is so powerful it destroys the goalpost. At this point, the gym teacher realizes something's wrong and challenges Dicky to a fight. Surprisingly, Dicky wins. Just then, Miss Ewan appears and informs Dicky that he's in serious trouble. Meanwhile, Mr. Chow arrives with several police officers at the field. But Dicky escapes, as his sneakers now let him fly. After seeing a cloud shaped like CJ7, Dicky suddenly wakes up, with the rest of an apple in his mouth, and realizes it was all a dream. At that moment, his father arrives home and tells him to get ready for school. Soon after, Dicky finds the little monster in his backpack. Though it may have been a dream, he now believes CJ7 is real and could help him score 100 on the upcoming test. On the way to school, Dicky stops in an alley and challenges CJ7 to defeat a dangerous-looking dog. CJ7 bravely accepts, but the dog lunges at him and throws the little alien away. Both Dicky and CJ7 run for their lives. Frustrated and disappointed, Dicky still decides to bring CJ7 to school. In the bathroom, Dicky argues with CJ7 and demands magic help for the test. But all the little alien can produce is a super poop. Desperate, Dicky brings it into the classroom anyway. During the exam, he stares at the poop, hoping for answers, but nothing happens. Mr. Chow announces that time is up, and Dicky hasn't written a single word. Johnny mocks him for bringing poop to class and even throws it in Dicky's face. Humiliated and angry, Dicky, now overtaken by rage, shoves CJ7's head into a toilet and accuses the alien of tricking him. He demands CJ7 hand over his magical tools, but instead receives another poop blast. In gym class, the teacher has gardeners hose Dicky down because he smells so bad. Ashamed, Dicky searches for CJ7 again. He pretends to be sorry and asks him to come out of hiding. Believing the apology, CJ7 approaches, only to be captured and thrown into the trash. Dicky walks away, but soon realizes his mistake and runs back. Unfortunately, the garbage truck has already come and gone. Dicky chases it, shouting, but no one listens. Later that day, he tells his father that he lost the toy. Crying, he doesn't know what to do. T, however, says that a strange creature had shown up at home, apparently waiting for Dicky. When Dicky sees CJ7, the alien jumps into his arms, seemingly having already forgiven him. T is curious and tries to inspect the alien. Dicky insists it's just a toy, but his father bends, twists, and even crushes CJ7 with an iron plate. Yet the alien remains unharmed. Determined to destroy it, T keeps trying, but Dicky begs him to stop. That night, Dicky struggles to sleep in the heat. CJ7 quietly uses his magic antenna to repair the fan, then collapses from exhaustion. In the morning, T is surprised the fan works. Dicky then shows him his test, and he's gotten an A. T is overwhelmed with pride. At school, Dicky walks with CJ7 on his shoulders. The classroom bullies spot him, and CJ7 quickly hides in Dicky's backpack. Johnny demands to know what he's hiding, but Dicky ignores him. Johnny steals the backpack and captures CJ7. Though the alien escapes, Johnny catches him again and tries to dissect him with tools, but nothing works. Dicky breaks free and jumps on Johnny, giving CJ7 a chance to escape. Just as Dicky is about to punch Johnny, Dragon appears and grabs his arm. Before he can strike, Maggie intervenes. She throws Dragon away with ease, and when he attacks again, she defeats him with a single blow. She checks on Dicky, and he thanks her. Mr. Chow appears and grounds all the students. While they sit in the yard, CJ7 sneaks up and hugs Dicky. The boy proudly shows his classmates the trick CJ7 can do. He commands CJ7 to sit and make funny faces. But soon after, CJ7 collapses and begins to break down. At work, T proudly shows his co-workers Dicky's perfect test score. But his boss accuses the boy of cheating. After inspecting the paper, he reveals that Dicky had actually scored a 0 and forged the grade. The next morning, T confronts Dicky about the forgery. The boy confesses. T takes CJ7 away and says Dicky can only have him back after scoring over 60 on a real test. That day, Dicky takes another test, this time determined to earn it honestly. Meanwhile, T is working on a tall construction site. Suddenly, a heavy metal cylinder falls, its rope tangled around T's legs. He's pulled from the structure and tries to hold on. His co-workers rush to help, but the tarp he clings to rips and T falls. At school, Dicky is thrilled with his test results. But Miss Ewan takes him to the hospital, where she receives devastating news. T didn't survive the fall. Heartbroken, she brings Dicky home and tells him. The boy breaks down, begs her to leave, and says his father will be back after he sleeps. That night, at the hospital, CJ7 crawls out of the bag T had taken to work to stop Dicky from bringing the toy. Seeing T's lifeless body, the alien tries to heal him. At first, the wounds begin to close, but it's not enough. Exhausted, CJ7 keeps going, pushing his powers to the limit. When Dicky wakes up, he finds his father asleep next to him. Overjoyed, he hugs him, asking him never to leave again. T hugs him back. Moments later, Dicky finds CJ7, barely able to walk and making strange noises. Suddenly, its antenna drops a glowing orb, and CJ7 turns into a ragdoll. T thinks the toy's battery has died. They try everything to bring him back, but nothing works. Still, Dicky carries CJ7 everywhere, hoping one day his friend will return. During summer break, the students gather for a picnic. Suddenly, a flying saucer appears, and CJ7's antenna begins to glow. Hundreds of aliens, just like CJ7, arrive and run toward him. Will Dicky finally be able to fix CJ7 now that his alien friends have arrived? So, what did you think of this movie? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this recap, please like and subscribe for more. See you next time.